Okay, the order of operation of this is going to get a little wonky as we go along here because there's things happening in parallel. As you can see, I'm still working on the cockpit ring, which you probably saw in the last video, but while I'm waiting for that to dry, I'm going to break some shit over here, and so, just understand that the order these are posted in is sort of a general approximation. That said, next little project here is to take out this bulkhead. And I got after it with the sledgehammer and broke out the plywood part, and then remembered, oh yeah, I was going to try to film this, so, oh well, here we go again. So, let's make that go away. One of the problems I had with this boat from when I built it was that cockpit was never quite big enough. It was never long enough. I had figured it on my feet being hard up against the forward bulkhead here, and that was all well and good, except that it turns out I actually have to move them once in a while or they go to sleep. And you'd think I would have figured that out by the time I built this boat, but learning experiences. So, since I don't want to move the forward bulkhead, and since I have to move this one back some to fit the new cockpit ring, which is a good, almost a foot longer, this one's going to come out, it's going to move back, it's going to move my center of mass, which should also move my center of gravity some back a little bit, but I don't think that'll be a huge deal. So I'm going to take the Japanese saw here and make a first attempt at this and maybe change tools and try something else. Ta-da! That, minus the piece of foam here, goes in the firewood pile. So this arch, let me just get a little more of that one. This arch carries the front of the cockpit ring here, and then these guys supported the original one. However, I don't know if they're going to fit, and I kind of hope they still do because these are ash or something else ridiculously hard. Screwed in under the fiberglass, so I'd really like to not take those out if I don't have to, but we'll see how that goes. I also realized as I was cutting this that these are screwed in under the fiberglass, so that's going to be fun to take out. But hey, I should have done it right the first time or something like that, right? Let's see here. I'm going to take a utility knife, try to cut down around these screw heads so that I can hopefully get them out. Popular activity around here. This blade is officially fucked off. Not unofficially fucked off, it's like officially fucked off at this point. Make sure your blades are officially fucked off before you replace them. Fortunately, it still has a good side, unlike me in the morning. So we can reuse it. We have at least limited access to the screw heads at this point. The good news is that when I built this thing, I used Robertson head screws, so there's a chance they'll actually come out. At least that's the hope. See if this is still working. It says it is, but it's almost dead. I guess we'll find out how shockproof it is. Looks like we have a winner there. Maybe. I think that needs to go up a size. Now, unsurprisingly, it feels like a screw that's been epoxied in place for a long time. Oh. Hey! That is what was holding that bulkhead in place. One down, 3 to go. This one's a little more munged up. So I think that screw head has too much mung in it to come undone with the driver. So I'm going to go ahead and use a pair of vice grips here and use the old-fashioned way, the new-fashioned way, or I don't know, do it whatever way is going to work, it looks like. There we go. 2 down, 2 to go. I just have to hope the air compressor doesn't start up while we're doing this. this far. Let's try it again with the hammer. Those will have to be ground out with something. Sander of some ilk when we get to that point. But yeah, bulkhead's out. Gonna be a bunch of cleanup on there. You see, there's the hole that came out of. So all that'll have to get cleaned up to fill something in there. Grind this off. Grind this shit off. Still gotta take that piece off. I don't know what I'm gonna do that with. But one thing at a time. That's out. So, we know that the new cockpit ring is just about 36 inches lengthwise. So, measure down here, that means that the end of it's going to be about here. You can see that's looks like 10 inches after the old one, so it should make getting in and out of the boat a lot easier as well. Big old hunk of delamination there. Cut that out. One of the secrets of fiberglass is that it will go over a certain angle and no more. And what happened here was that I didn't sand the bottom of the boat well enough, the bottom of the inside or inside of the bottom, whatever, well enough, and it was too rough, and the fiberglass wouldn't stick to it. So you got this bubble. And what I'm going to do is take my utility knife here, isn't that where it starts, and I'm just going to cut around as much of the outside of the bubble as I can. There we go. Did I mention this blade was fucked off? Now both sides are fucked off. Anyway, I'm going to cut around this bubble and pull that out, then sand it down like I should have in the first place, and I can put new fiberglass in there, which will bond to the smooth stuff that's actually here on either side and to the soon-to-be smooth bottom. I don't really want to have happen. So that comes out. I don't know if it'll show up in the video here. This is really rough. You can feel, well, I can feel. You probably can't feel anything just seeing your computer. But there's, perceptible ridges here. And the glass just didn't get down into those holes and stick, and then it swelled and popped up. So that's delamination. You can see over here where it was properly sanded, I can't get a finger on there to peel anything. But here, I most certainly can. learning from your mistakes. All the stuff that I did wrong when I built this in the first place. Now I get to go back and fix. So all of that and all of this will get sanded down with some kind of a Raptor. Some days I can speak. We'll get sanded down with some kind of rotary sander. Make that nice and smooth so that when I go to put glass on it next time, it will stick. And we won't be doing this a third time. I really don't know how many of this will show up on camera, but this is just so rough that the glass couldn't stick to it. That's actually got sand in it. I think what happened there is there was a blister in the glass, and when I was using this thing, you know, you get water in the cockpit. I flipped this into sand at the bay one time trying to surf it. Trying to even get out through the waves, just surf it. And I think what happened is it got sand in that blister and it just stayed there because it had no way to get out. Here it is. I don't know how many years later, there's still sand in that blister until I finally popped the blister and took the sand out. So, I don't know what the meaning of any of that is, aside from I had sand in my blister. That's the worst of the delamination. I've got some places here at the gunnel. Like I said, the fiberglass will only bend around a certain angle, and that was just too much. Typically what you do is you just kind of don't, either you round it off or you just kind of don't worry about it because it can stick to both the hull and the deck, and it stuck okay until the deck came off. And then, you know, when I cut the deck off, it left this lip, so I'll take that out. There was also a lot of stuff, you know, I didn't know what I was doing when I built this thing particularly, and arguably conditions haven't improved a whole lot since then, because this is also the last fiberglass boat I built. But there were a lot of places where I used, in lieu of good engineering practices, I just used more fiberglass, and it didn't always work. So hopefully we'll fix some of that evil as we go along here. But next step on the inside here is going to be to take a rotary sander, feather these edges, clean this up to where it's smooth enough, and then rough this area up around it here, which will allow the new fiberglass to stick to the old fiberglass, and that'll give us a nice clean seal there. Now all of this is going to have to get sanded down, so that's just going to be all kinds of fun, but hey, whatever, it's got to be done. Still, you know, I'm meaningfully closer to putting this puppy in the water than I was when I started tonight, so I'm going to call that a win. Until next time, we'll see you around.